Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been seeing all your comments on TikTok asking me for reviews analysis for this one. So today, it's finally happening. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
Now, let's hear directly from our first reviewer about their experience.
This reviewer begins by addressing fellow gamers who, like them, were seeking the ultimate experience of high-resolution gaming at a fast refresh rate. For anyone considering this gaming monitor for that purpose, our reviewer stresses that the out-of-the-box experience is far from smooth. They discovered that a couple of initial steps were absolutely essential to even begin troubleshooting the larger issues. First, the firmware it ships with is apparently quite old and needs an immediate update to fix a host of problems. Additionally, connecting the USB cable, which might seem like it is only for the built-in hub, is apparently critical for driver control and software integration, playing a key role in improving stability. However, even after these initial fixes, this client encountered a persistent and deeply frustrating issue, specifically when using the DisplayPort connection. The core of the problem is a bizarre behavior where the screen essentially decides to go to sleep almost immediately after detecting a connection, acting as if nothing was just plugged in. This leads to a maddening daily ritual every time the computer is turned on. The PC boots up but can't find a display, so the user has to manually power on the monitor. By then, the computer has stopped sending a signal, and before it can try again, the monitor has already put itself back to sleep. Our reviewer describes this as a frustrating cycle of turning things on and off for several minutes until, by sheer luck, the PC and the display finally decide to communicate properly. The user identifies this as a known bug related to how the DisplayPort connection detects a live signal, which seems to have an incredibly short timeout period. They express immense frustration that a simple software tweak, like disabling this feature or extending the detection time beyond a single second, could likely resolve the entire ordeal. It's a significant design flaw that turns the simple act of starting up a gaming session into a test of patience.
Awesome! Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer recently picked up this monitor, their first venture into the world of 4K displays, and overall, they're quite impressed. The image quality is excellent, with no dead pixels to be found, and the stand offers a good range of adjustability. There are also some gaming-centric features included, which our reviewer found to be enjoyable, although their utility might vary depending on the specific games you play. However, it's not all sunshine and roses. This client uses this screen as part of a dual monitor setup, and they found the placement of the controls on the back right side, quite high up, to be somewhat inconvenient. This is mostly because they frequently switch between two connected PCs, and accessing the controls to change inputs is a bit of a hassle. It's a minor annoyance but not a deal breaker in itself. The biggest issue and the reason for the slightly lower rating is that the DisplayPort DP isn't working. No matter what cable or device this reviewer has tried, the port detects a connection but fails to initiate properly. Strangely, the HDMI ports work perfectly well. Unfortunately, relying solely on HDMI limits the monitor's refresh rate in their setup, leaving some potential performance untapped. This reviewer specifically wanted a monitor with a functional DP, and this limitation may lead to a return.
Fantastic! Now, let's see what insights our next reviewer has to offer.
This reviewer was really excited about this monitor because on paper it seemed to have everything anyone could want. We're talking about full color depth, HDR support, variable refresh rate, crisp 4K resolution at a high refresh rate, and a fast response time, basically all the bells and whistles. And to be fair, the picture quality is genuinely impressive. However, our reviewer ran into a rather annoying issue. At its maximum refresh rate, the monitor emits a noticeable buzzing sound, loud enough to be distracting, especially in a quiet home office environment. This client did some research and found that others have experienced similar noises, attributing it to various components, but ultimately discovered that lowering the refresh rate reduced the buzzing. The problem is this individual purchased the monitor specifically for its top-end capabilities, so running it at a lower refresh rate to eliminate the noise feels like a compromise they aren't willing to accept. Despite this flaw, our reviewer initially gave it a high rating because the visual performance is so good. The hope is that this buzzing is just a defect in this particular unit, and not a widespread problem. The plan is to replace the monitor and see if the replacement suffers from the same issue. The reviewer has good hearing, making the noise particularly noticeable and impossible to ignore once detected. Having owned other high refresh rate displays from the same manufacturer without this problem, they were surprised to encounter it with this particular model. This client will update the review after receiving the replacement.
If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Got thoughts or questions? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.